So chapter 11, statistics and types of data. Data or data. So what is statistics? The practice of collecting data. And there's different ways to collect data. That's probably like a chapter in an actual statistics class. How to collect data. How do you organize the data once you collect the data? Once you organize the data, you analyze the data, summarize the data, and finally interpret the data to draw conclusions. Let's focus on types of data right here, right now. Types of data. What kind of data types are there? Types of data. There's qualitative data. We will not work with this type of data in the class. Quality of something, the quality. So like you say, you get a watermelon, like I did yesterday. And I look at a bunch of watermelons. And I tap it and I see if it's hollow, and I'm thinking I know how to pick this watermelon. Somebody else tell me, no, this is not a good watermelon. This is how you get a watermelon. So anyways, quality of something, how good is something, how sweet is something, or that's qualitative, the quality of it. In this class, we're not doing this qualitative data. Quantitative data we are doing, which deals with numbers. Data which can be measured. Because if you could, I guess, measure how sweet something is, and you put it as a number, no, I guess. But it's like from 1 to 10, how sweet was the watermelon? But anyways, but that's the quality of it, though. But the quantity is how many watermelons are there. It's more like that. So here's some examples. The height of students in a class. The scores on an Algebra 2 exam. Next week, we're going to do a experiment to do all this. We're going to have you guys come up, and we're going to measure your height. And then we're going to do all kinds of organizing, analyzing, summarizing, and interpreting the data. Let me give you another minute to maybe copy this down. So yes, I'm telling this statistics is a lot of writing. All right, moving on. If you didn't catch this, you can always go get the rest from the website. So how do we collect data? Collecting data. Survey. That's how you collect. That's the most, I would say, the most used one, collecting data. You do a survey. You can do an experiment to collect data, which we're going to do next week, to collect the heights of students in the class. Direct observation. We're always collecting data by direct observation. When I look at students every day and in this class, and I see students on their phone and not writing things down, looking up at the ceiling, not paying attention, I'm collecting data. I'm already, that student's gonna mess up on the test. So I'm direct observing. I'm already observing and collecting information. And I finally collect that information and confirms what I think. When people take an exam and they get a 3 out of 15, and I'm like, yep, that's what's gonna happen. Then there's more, no? There's more ways of collecting data. But these would be like 4 of them that are major. All right, let's start. So let's start doing this data here. So how do we organize this quantitative data? Well, we're going to organize this data. We got this data. We're going to organize it by finding the mean, then we find the median and the mode. And that's what, did you not do this in middle school, I think? Anybody? I don't know what they teach. Yes? So it's a review, I think, no? So let's review what you surely have done. So we got this data. Maybe you don't want to write this down, the actual numbers. Because what's the first thing we should do with this data if we want to organize it? Anybody? From least to greatest. So don't write it down because you're going to write it down again. So let's do what it should. And for me, this is just tedious work. And I don't, so which one is the smallest? 0 is the smallest here. Okay, so I don't want to take too much time out of this because you know how to do this. It's just a lot of work, and I'll give you the numbers. All right, so there's the numbers. So you don't have to, we're not going to spend like 15 minutes trying to do this. So we organize the data. And once you organize the data, more information comes out of it. Why? Because now I can see that there was a person who got a 0 here. It's a test. Actually, these are scores on a test. And he was probably out of how many points, this test? 50? Maybe somebody got a 44. We don't know. I don't know. It's probably 50. And maybe 44. But I'm going to go with 50. But anyways, we're just kind of interpreting what's going on here. We're trying to like see something, what maybe what's going on, what this pertains to. All right, so we listed from least to greatest. Then we're gonna find the mean now, the mean. How do we find the mean? What's the mean? You guys don't know what the mean is? What is the definition of the mean? Didn't you guys take this in middle school? The average. And how do you find the average? The mean is the average. How do you find the average? Add them all up, divided by how many there are, how many numbers there are, yeah? So let's do that. Get your calculators, come up and get a calculator. And this is the reason I don't like teaching statistics. It's just, to me, I like more hard math. This is just more about plug in 0 plus 14 plus 15 plus 18 plus 20, and then divide it by how many there are. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, not 17. 17. Yeah, there's 17 of them. So go ahead and add them all up. This is less math intensive for sure. You only need to know how to add, subtract, just basic math for this. And use a calculator. So these are called measures of central tendency. That's what they're called. I could talk more about it, but maybe they'll talk more about it when if you do take statistics class. Okay, so the mean is add them all up, divided by how many there are. And what is the answer? Rounded to the nearest, I don't know. Depends on what the teacher wants. What are you getting? You getting what? Rounding. So I'm gonna tell you that when it comes to this, you can't mess up. You mess up with one number, you're adding them up, and it's gonna be all wrong, or it's gonna be wrong. So you gotta be very careful with everything you put in the calculator. The answer is 26.3, and then go. If you're not getting this, go back and do it again until you get 26.3. Do it again. All right. So how do we find the median? Anybody, how do we find the median? Did you guys, again, this is review. Did you guys take this already in 8th grade, 7th?
I don't remember divided by how many numbers there are.
That's what we did for the median. Oh, I asked what's the median?
Oh, median.
What's the median? What's the median? The number in the middle? Yes? Once you list it from least to greatest, is the middle number, yes or no?
28.
All right. So yes. So look, I'm telling you, this is what the reason I don't like doing teaching. Is too for me, okay? Just me. I go like this. This is like this, and you go in, which is the middle. So I already say 17. 60 is the 9th number. Anyways, one way of doing it is going like this. Yeah, got it? It's 28, not the middle number. What happens if there's two middle numbers? What happens if it's, this one we got lucky, there's only one, 28 is the middle. What if there's two left over?
You divide.
Divided by?
It's 2.
By 2. Whatever those numbers, if there's 2 left, divided by 2.
One of them or both of them?
No, both of them, both of the numbers, get those numbers, add them up, divided by 2. So you're going to list the numbers from least to greatest, and it's the middle number. And finally, what are we doing? The mode. What is the mode? What's the mode?
Is it the highest or lowest?
The mode? It's the number that repeats the most. The number that repeats the most. Mode is the number that repeats the most. Which number repeats the most? 28. Is that the only one? Is there another mode? Nope. 28 is the mode. All right. A little bit more time, so you write this down. Moving on. Good? Okay, moving on. So what are we going to do with this now? Histogram. So we're trying to organize this data. Even more so, we're going to organize it by making almost like it's a graphical representation of the distribution of data. Once we list these from least to greatest, we want to group people. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to group, okay, so from 0 to 50, this test was at 50 points. How many students got from 0 to 10? If that's just, again, arbitrary I'm going to group the students that got from 0 to 10. How about, is it 0 to 10 or 0 to 9? 0 to 9. Let's go from 0 to 9. How many students got from 0 to 9? How many students got from 10 to 19? That's what I want to do. And then 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to, no, that's not going to work. Then what the heck are we going to do with that 50? So what is that? 0 to 10, I guess, has to be 0 to 10. And then what? 11 to 20. 21 to 30. 30 to 30 to 40. 41 to 50. That's if it's out of 50. Yeah, okay. So it's arbitrary. But 0 to 10, I guess we're going to have to do 0 to 10 and then 11 through 20. So how many students got from 0 to 10? How many got a score of from 0 to 10? One. How many got from 10 to 10 to 20? To 10 to 19? What did I say it was? Yeah, 0 to 10. I said 0 to 10 and then 11 to 20. How many got 11 from score from between 11 and 20? 4. So it wouldn't matter if I say 11 to 19 or 10 to 19 and then, or if I say 11 to 20, because then this would either go with that bunch or this bunch. All right, anyways, so you make a table. You make you don't make a table, you make a graph. So I did use 0 to 10, 11 to 20. Yep. This one, the first one, 0 to 10, has 11 numbers, whereas the other ones have only 10, but whatever. So you said there's only one student here, so you can put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many students got from 0 to 10 and make a rectangle? 1. The next rectangle that you're going to put there, which is almost like a bar graph, is going to be right next to it. There should be no gap between them. 11 through 20 is 4, you said 4? Yes, 4. (21 through 30). How many? Is that 6? (31 to 40). How many? 4? $41 to $52. So this is called a histogram. Good. Moving on. You guys can go to the website and get any of these notes. Let's go. Let's get that one. Okay, now we're going to do measure of spread. Standard deviation. What is standard deviation? It is a measure of how spread out the numbers are. Let's do it with smaller numbers because it takes a long time to do this by hand. That's why there's computer programs that do it, or standard deviation. But this is the way you do it by hand. So this there's in this class, which is almost like my AP class. I only got like 6 students in there right now. But in this one we got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 scores out of 100. Student got a 30 out of 100, 70 out of 100, 75. And we want to find what is the standard deviation here. This is how we do standard deviation. I make this this weird table here to get all the information I need. And we put x minus this Greek letter called mu. This is a Greek letter called mu. It looks like an M. And what do you think it stands for? M. The mean. The mean. So we're going to have to find the mean here. This is the mean. So that's what we're going to do. X is each individual score. So X is going to be 30. And let's list them down like this. 70, 75, 80. And then we're going to subtract. The mean. How do we find the mean again? Add them all up divided by how many numbers there are. Get your number, get a calculator and add them all up quick. What's the average? What's that mean? What's the mean? All right. Is it? I don't know. Let's go. Let me see. So we got those numbers. And we have figured out the mean. We're going to subtract the mean 75. Okay, yes. So then we're going to do this. We're going to get the answer to whatever this is and then square it. So over here, we're going to go x minus the mean, whatever that answer is, and square it. So go 30 minus 75. Get your calculators. There's a lot of you guys don't have a calculator. Come up and get a calculator. What's 30? Take away 75 and then square that number. What is 30 minus 75 and then square it? What are you getting? 2025? Do you really need a calculator for this one? What's 70 minus 75 squared? 25? 75 minus 75 is 0. 0 squared is? 0 squared is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. Oh, that 1 to 0 power is 1. What's 80 minus 75 is 5. 5 squared is what? 25? 85 minus 75 squared? 100? 90 minus 75 squared? 225? 95 minus 75 squared? 400? Then you're going to add up all these numbers. It's called the summation. This is a Greek letter. Again, we've done it before. The sum of all these numbers. The sum of x minus the... So basically, this is add up all these numbers. Okay. So whatever that number is, which is... somebody said 2,800. 2,800, add up. And here's the formula right here, everybody. This is called the standard deviation. This little thing with the hat, it's like an O with a hat. It's called, standard deviation is called, what the heck is it called? It's a Greek letter. No, it's been a while. I don't forget what it's called, but it's this little weird looking thing. So basically what goes on top of, we already done all the work. The summation of x minus mean squared, that's going to be 2,800 goes on top. That's all this, this right here that we added up. And then divided by how many numbers are there? What's n? 7. So just put that in the calculator, 28, square root of 2,800 divided by 7, and that is going to be the standard deviation. Well, this is 400. 2,800 divided by 7 is 400.
Oh.
Is it? I don't know, is it? So that's just 20 then? All right, last thing here. We're almost done. What's the range? What's the range of scores? What's the range? Who scored the lowest? What was the lowest score? What's the lowest score? 30. What's the highest score? What's the difference between the lowest and the biggest or the highest score? That's the range. What is it? 65? Subtract the smallest from the biggest. 65? So that's the lesson for this, so I can stop the recording, but this is what you're going to do now.